YouTube, what is going on? It has been a minute since I've posted anything, but it's mostly because this league for me has been a bit of a slower start. I will admit for myself, but I finally have a build that's come together that has really taken off, especially recently, especially within the last 2 levels. So I'm level 95. This is a lightning trap. Divergent lightning trap raider. We're not going Sabo, we're going raider. Grom's wet dream. Don't mind that name. Just buddy of mine really likes traps. If he's watching, yeah, you know. Anyway, so what we have here though is this character. It's instead of going Sabo, we are taking raider. And the reason is because that saboteur, while it's nice, it has a lot of quality of life things. Raider is realistically just a little bit faster and realistically still has a lot of defensive options and a lot of just smoothness to it that I personally have really been enjoying since I started doing this build, with the fact that we're taking the permanent onslaught, the increased effective onslaught, the perma-phasing along with spell suppress, and the elemental avoidance along with some exposure for more damage as well. Now the thing with this character that's very nice is that while I have a very low life pool, as you can see, I have only 3,700 life, but realistically, this character dies super infrequently, and the reason for that is that my evasion as is, if I can actually remember the button, is, so I'm only seeing at 80% right now. It's dropped a little bit as I've been kind of making some items, but with my blast up, I'm at 87% evasion, which is still very good. That's right about where you want to be anyway. So I'm right about 87% evasion. It was a little bit higher. Awesome. But regardless, I don't get hit very often. But then when I do get hit, if it's a spell, well, I am 100% spell suppress capped as well. Now, along with being spell suppress capped, which is already very nice, halves any damage that you're taking from spells, I also am completely, you can see here, avoidant to every single ailment. And I'll go over why that works in a little bit as well. But I'm avoided to every single elemental ailment as well, which is very nice. Adds a lot of comfort to the build, adds a lot of just cruising. My chaos resistance is also at 66%, I'm nearly capped there. And you'll be able to see, I'm just gonna run a quick map here, just for the heck of it. Oh, helps if I actually grab the map. Another nice thing about this build, you can very much show just how it can go. I'll kind of just show the general playstyle as well really quick, and then we'll kind of go into the gear and everything else a little bit. So we're just running a mesa, but the build is very much so, you run around, you throw some traps down, and pretty much everything dies. If you need more damage, then we have some supporting skills and we have a curse that we're taking, along with both Sniper's Mark and Assassin's Mark. The reason for that just being that if you want to, while you're clearing out like this, like now I'll put out my Heinous Brand, which has conductivity and Sniper's Mark, so that anything is cursing will get hit by more projectiles. Just makes the clear even smoother. I don't think you really need Sniper's Mark by this point, honestly. I think the clear is enough as is, but it also doesn't hurt to have. And then we are running Assassin's Mark because for bossing, you know, then you're getting more crits, getting bigger crits, all that good stuff. So Assassin's Mark for bossing. Yeah, we're just kind of cruising through the map. It's very smooth, very easy play style. You're just running and gunning. You dodge most hits. The only thing that is like scary, obviously, is if you do take his hit, obviously, the majority of the time, it's gunner. That is like the one downside to this build. Such as the way with, you know, evasion heavy builds, realistically. It's at the end of the day, if you take that hit, if you don't get that 90%, or that, you know, if you don't have the 87% and you get hit with that evasion, then, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you roll unlucky and you die from it, and that's just the way that it goes. But this character has overall been so much fun. This has by far been the strongest character I've made so far. Oh, also, I just realized my bar still has the effect. Don't worry about the effect on my bar. On the R. I just remembered that. That's from an MTX that came out literally today. So do not worry about that. All that it does is this. It sprays blood. It doesn't do anything. It's all cosmetic, so don't worry about what that skill is or what that does. It doesn't do it. As you can see though, like, just ran into the boss arena there. Maven summoning more bosses. We have, this is just, you know, rare. It's not necessarily a super beefy map, but by no means is it just like, no means is it a white map or anything. It's got some depth to it. And there's the setup right there already. So all that I'm doing as far as setup goes when I'm about to fight an enemy like that, fire, is throwing down a bunch of traps. You can have up to 24 traps out, and so you throw out as many traps as you can, and you set bear trap as the base. Bear trap causes enemies to take more damage. I believe it's general, right? Learn the movement speed. Take increased damage from traps and mines. Yeah, exactly. So they increase damage from traps and mines, which is very important. And then you also throw down, I just have lightning spire trap as well. That's also optional completely. I just like lightning spire trap. It just kind of adds a little bit extra, and I have culling strike set up on both bear and lightning trap, just because lightning trap hits so many times, it hits so often that when they are down to culling range, lightning strike can hit them pretty much instantly. As you can see though, I mean, I have the little, this is also MTX that came out today, so that was 3.5 minutes, literally just running, bursting everything down. And that's also me like trying to sort of explain stuff partially as well. So this character is very smooth, very fun. This clock ticks, so I'm standing here while I'm kind of explaining some more of the gear. Just so that if anybody's like, oh my gosh, the clock's ticking, then we'll be out of there. So, gear-wise, how are we solving mana? First question. And the answer to that is Slave Driver's Hand. We're using Slave Driver's Hands, which causes all of your traps to cost life instead of mana, which is the biggest deal from it. The chance to gain charges when any enemy triggers your traps is also very nice. It just kind of lets you actually have all your charges consistently, which is why when I get to the link setup later, I think one of the links isn't completely necessary. Yeah, so we're using Slave Driver's Hand, and in here I just have this is the bear trap, culling strike, lightning spire trap, and this is increased duration. Increased duration applies to the duration for bear trap, which is the effect for how long the debuff lasts, and how long lightning spire also stays out. So this seems like a good setup for me. You could probably rotate something else out here. I'm not 100% certain what else you'd put in here, but you can maybe make bear trap a 4-link instead if you didn't want to run lightning spire. Swap that out, do something, whatever you want to do there. But slave drivers are very, very nice. So now that our traps cost life, how are we solving the life? Well, we're gonna run Tinkerskin. Tinkerskin lets you recover 100 life when your trap is triggered by an enemy, and also 50 ES. That doesn't matter as much. We just care about the life. So that by itself, with how fast we throw traps, will pretty much negate the downside of these. Now you can also run Vitality. I'm not running Vitality anymore. I don't have the mana for it, and I also don't have. Well, I have a socket. I have a link for it I could set up if I wanted to. I just kind of don't want to. The other option is you could also just get more life recovery on some items. I have not. There's a few items I could roll. Life recovery I feel like makes things more comfortable, because if an enemy isn't triggering it, then you know it's a little bit more crazy. Whereas as you're bossing, if the boss isn't running into as many of your traps and your health is getting kind of low, and you can get a little bit freaked out by that. But that's all up to you. That's the life, and that's the life. That's the mana situation. That's how throwing the traps works. So next up, let's talk about the links as far as actual lightning trap goes. So here we have a divergent lightning trap. The reason why I'm personally going divergent, you don't need to. I just like divergent because it's fun, because it has the projectiles have a 20% chance to return to you, which if you're not running Nimbus or returning projectile support, then that's one of the only ways to do it. I'm not going to run Nimbus. I'm not going to run returning projectile support, so divergent. Also, just fun to have them come back to you, or at least have a chance to come back. It does a lot of damage, it's really good, and you don't have to worry about the downside of them flying randomly or whatever else. So attached to this, we have a charge traps. This is just to help generate our charges faster, power charge, frenzy charge, and also gives us some crit multi and some trap throwing speed, along with some generic trap damage just on the quality. But this isn't completely necessary. I think you could honestly drop this because of the fact that Tinkerskin and Slave Drivers have a chance to give you a trap. Hey, that these both have a chance to give you a charge when your trap is triggered. I don't think that you need this, honestly, and I might be switching this out. In place of this, I'd probably put Crit Multi, the Critical Strike Multiplier support gem. I'd probably put that there. That would be one thing to replace. It's up to you. It's kind of just a comfort thing. It just generates your charges much faster and much more consistently. I would say try it out. If you don't like it, or if you don't notice your charges going up quick enough or activating often enough, then I'd say just throw it back in. It's not that big of a deal. Next up, trap mind damage. Of course, very obvious here. It's just more damage. We like damage. Running Awakened Lightning Penetration. Lightning Penetration is very big on this build. Adds a lot of damage. So Awakened Lightning Penetration is cheap and also very strong. After that, we're doing an Awakened added lightning damage support. The important thing, when this hits level 5, will also give +1 level to lightning skill gems, supported lightning skill gems. So pretty soon here, mine will be level 5, and that'll be another power spike. That'll take this to level 28. That'll be nice. And then Swift Assembly. Swift Assembly is one that just gives you a chance to throw more traps, and it also gives you some increased trap throwing speed, as you can see here as you're looking at it. But it just kind of gives you a chance to throw more of your traps out. You could do cluster traps while you're mapping, but I would not recommend cluster traps for bossing in any capacity. Yeah, you just don't need... The downside of cluster traps is too big. You instead would just want to go Swift Assembly. And besides, with how fast you throw them out anyway, it's not that big. Alright, and then we just have this, just a general life tab, casting damage taken, steel skin. The boots themselves, nothing crazy, just some fractured move speed. They got life, they have evasion, they have some resistances on them. That's all they needed. The increased action speed implicit, who is that? Searing Exarch. And Eater of Worlds cooldown, recovery of travel skills, just to make things a little bit smoother, do things a little bit faster. That's all that we're going for with the boots. The boots aren't a big slot for us, but they're still doing less. Belt, same thing, some life, some resistances. I might make this into a hunter belt, just to try to make things a little bit thicker. Try to hit some max life on this. So this will probably get rolled, but again, not a big deal. Same with the eye slot that's here. Nothing big, just a lot of flat added damage to spells, especially with dual wielding. Not a big deal. Rings, also the same thing. I will say with rings though, you kind of want to hit increased cast speed. Increased cast speed also applies to your trap throw speed. So that's another reason why you want Onslaught as well. Why we want our Onslaught increased effect is that our trap throwing speed applies to, our cast speed applies to trap throw speed. So get more cast speed if you can. Try to put it on an Amethyst ring again if you can and if you want to, because it just feels comfortable. Otherwise, just life and resistances here again. This thing is a pretty big deal as well. I think it's about a divine. Last I looked. Lightning Trap isn't really a huge skill. It is not a super important skill, so people aren't really looking at Lightning Trap. It's about a divine. I think I bought this 150C maybe. It's somewhere around there. But it is a very, very comfortable item. It is really, really nice and really fun to run with. I would definitely recommend picking it up. I mean, I guess if you wanted to go huge, you could go Ashes of the Stars. If you wanted to go huge, and even that, I'm not even certain that would be much of a DPS increase. Otherwise, just generic plus lightning skill gems amulet is good. Anything to just kind of hold and just give you plus levels, and then just have resistances. This helps me a lot with attributes, and I'll kind of go over my tree and just show my attributes are kind of reduced a little bit because of tattoos. Tattoos are just too much fun, so I wanted to throw some on. Helmet, more cast speed. Otherwise, again, I needed intelligence. Don't we all? Or at least especially me. I especially do. Needs some intelligence, and then has some chaos, cold res, some life. Nothing crazy. Has some increased cast speed, and damage penetrates 6% with a unique enemy in the area. Again, not a big deal. It's just it will make things more comfortable for sure. Yeah, that is all of the items. Real quick in the background, I'm just leveling up another divergent lightning trap to try to double corrupt it. If I hit level 21 and Vol, cool. That's another thing. You don't need Vol lightning trap. It's nice, but it's not a big deal. It basically just puts a lot of shocked ground out, but it's not a huge deal. It helps with the shock, but it's not a big enough thing that the +1 can't overcome. The +1 is way more important than the Vol version is. Alright, so with that's kind of itemization out of the way. Pardon my voice. So with that, let's look at the passive tree. So, passive-wise, just kind of go up and working our way up top here to try to get to this second node. So you can see, or second cluster jewel. So I want a cluster jewel here, go all the way up, get the second cluster jewel up here. Come over here, get the trap stuff, high explosives, unstable munitions, very important. Trap mastery, have 5 additional placed, obviously very strong. More traps you can have out, the better. So we have all of our traps, all that good stuff. Let's see. Oh, tattoo wise, and this is, I'll kind of talk about one of the, and I guess I can bring up this jewel now as well. So how am I 100%? Sorry, I'm all over the place. How am I Elemental Void? Well, I am completely Elemental Void because of this jewel right here. Modifiers chance to suppress spell damage. Also apply a chance to avoid elemental ailments at 50% of their value. We are a raider, which already gives us 50% chance to avoid elemental ailments while phasing. Hey, guess what? We're always phasing. So, bada bing, bada boom. You do the math. We have 100% spell suppress. We have 50% from elemental avoidance here. Bam, we're 100% avoid. This jewel is about 3 divines last I looked. Very strong jewel, very nice, very comfortable, not 100% necessary. It's very nice, adds more defenses, but again, not necessary. I didn't get this until I was level maybe 92 or so. So you can still run around and you'll still be fine. It's just more comfortable when you don't have to worry about elemental ailments in the slightest. Tattoo wise, this is just some increased move speed because why not? These are just increased projectile speed. Again, not necessary at all, but they were just nice. It's just fun to see your balls go out and come back faster. We have some suppressed spell damage here. This is because I was not at 100%. I think I can actually drop all 3 of these. I'm pretty sure I could drop all 3 of these and still be at 100% suppress. So that's just dependent on your items. If you have a chance to suppress spell damage anywhere, because we're taking Innervate and we have 40% chance plus 40% here. Like we get very close just off of our tree in Ascendancy. That you can either get it from items. You can either hit 100% with items pretty easily, or you can just get some tattoos to fill it out, and you'll be right there. This one as well, because we're evasion build, obviously 50% chance to suppress spell damage. If equipped helmet, body armor, gloves, boots all have evasion rating. All of them do. Bam, more suppressed spell damage. So again, we're very close. This is up to you, and this is up to your build if you need this. This node right here, +1 level all intelligence skill gems, this tattoo, again, it's nice. It's not completely necessary, though. It just is another thing that adds a lot of damage. I think I picked this up at level 93. It's about a divine for one of these. I think these have normalized at about a divine. It's not that big of a deal again. It's just more damage, which is nice. And then some of these smaller nodes are just some more plus chaos res, because, you know, more chaos resistance you can sneak in, the better. Just makes things even more comfortable. This mastery right here, this is for Mark the Prey. Mark the Prey is very nice in general. The Mark masteries, I would say, are, for the most part, pretty lackluster, but I'm running Marked Enemy, Cannot Regenerate Life, and that's specifically because I'm doing a lot with Maven this league. And there's a number of rare modifiers that also restore health, so this just blocks that. Also, Maven, this prevents Maven from healing things. This is just another, like, comfort pick. You could drop this point easily if you really didn't care about that, or you were just blasting things so hard that it did not. Extra Frenzy charge here, not necessary again. You could remove this. This Jewel, this is Consecrated Ground, created by Zealotry, causes enemies to take 9% increased damage, and damage penetrates lightning res while affected by Wrath. The damage penetrate by Wrath is a bigger deal than the Zealotry one, but this is more of a, this is again more of like a min-maxing type deal. You get this, you can get this later in the build. It's not, again, it's just more damage, so it's not a huge deal right away. The Max Frenzy Charge, I'm actually thinking about dropping this. I just don't know what I'm going to drop it for. I might get a Megalomaniac and stick that up here instead, and then that'll at least be something. We're taking Whispers of Doom as well. Something I wanted to note about this Thread of Hope is that it allows us to take Assassination, Saboteur, Blood Siphon, and Clever Construction, all right for this 1 point, which is very, very nice. But until you get a cluster, or if you don't want to get a Thread of Hope, sorry, I said cluster. If you don't want to get this Thread of Hope, or if you can't get it, what I would say to do instead is to, also, it is a large ring Thread of Hope. What I would say to do instead is cut some of the point, cut off this second cluster jewel. This second cluster jewel isn't a huge deal. It's, again, just more damage for min-maxing. You can cut this off and instead come down through Written in Blood and come all the way down these points, come over here, take Trickery, go down to Blood Siphon, and then take Sabo and Assassination. Don't worry about taking Clever Construction until you get this Thread of Hope. I don't think it's as good of a node as, I don't think it's good enough to warrant taking the 2 points. It's not that big of a deal. Also, I take Careful Conservationist. I'm thinking about dropping this point too. I don't think you really need this point either. It's just another little bit of quality of life for flasks. Not a big deal. Probably going to be dropping that too. Cluster Jewel wise, we have, I have this guy here. Disorienting Display, Overshock, and Paralysis. Of the three, I would say Overshock and Disorienting are the two biggest deals for more elemental damage, and the Blind and lightning damage with increased effective lightning ailments. The Paralysis is basically just more lightning damage. It doesn't do much else. I would like to reroll this one, but I'm also lazy. But then for our two medium jewels, we're doing Trap of Mind damage ones. This one has Arcane Pyrotechnics and Guerrilla Tactics, which is just trap damage, trap throwing speed, move speed if you've thrown a Trap of Mind recently. Just helps you get around. Allows us to do that more run and gun type playstyle. Arcane Pyrotechnics is more trap damage, and then Arcane Surge when your trap is triggered by an enemy. So it just kind of gives us some extra benefits, some extra juice for traps being triggered. Over here, Guerrilla Tactics and Surprise Sabotage. Surprise Sabo is crit multi with traps and trap damage penetration, which is nice. This small cluster really, again, isn't a big deal. This could be dropped, and you can just put a regular jewel here if you wanted to. Just a regular, like this jewel over here. This is nothing. I just needed some intelligence, and it just happened to have trap throw speed on it too. So I needed the intelligence. This one, though, I just wanted some more life. Truthfully, like my life total was so low, so I just threw this in there. I just rolled it to hit Natural Vigor. It happened to hit Chaos Rest as well. I'll probably actually, now that I think about it, I should Exalt Sign this too, just to get one additional effect from this. But regardless, no, again, not a big deal. You can totally drop that, save yourself a couple points if you wanted to, and instead just put a ring. The big cluster up here, this one is not a big deal in the least. We have Sadist, we have Prismatic Heart, we have Doriani's Lesson. Note, Doriani's Lesson does not give you damage, or does not leech you life, because you're technically not doing the damage, which is a very important note, because since you are not doing the damage, that means that this build can also do any Reflect map. Just be sure to not Flame Dash on top of something. You can, as a tech, you can attach your Flame Dash to a... Forgetting the name of it. Let's take a look. I'm forgetting the name. Sorry, I'm going off on a small tangent, but it's because I just remembered that. Void Manipulation, that's the one. You can attach your Flame Dash to avoid manipulation, just because it will make your Flame Dash deal no elemental damage, so then you don't have to worry if you're running a bunch of maps. You know what? I'm actually gonna do that right now. Screw it, let's do it. I have to move my Grace. That doesn't do anything, right? Oh, it does. Alright, I thought. Regardless, this that lets you flame dash for free without having to worry about enemies, or without you reflecting damage back to yourself. Not a big deal. Just another solid tech thing to do. That was speaking of Doriani's lesson. Otherwise, we have Prismatic Heart, just more LE damage, all elemental resistances. Was just nice for freeing up some of that restriction on my gear and the need. And then Sadist again. This just kind of rolled. I think this technically does do some cold damage somewhere. I think I have added cold damage somewhere. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't anymore. But you could get some added cold damage, and then you know, that's 35% increased elemental damage for stuff. So just another good damage increase, and that's about all. That's about all. Those are the major important notes and important pieces about this. Otherwise, I feel like this is a fairly standard tree. You're just taking the solid nodes along the way, taking some life where you can, taking the mana reservation efficiencies. You're just grabbing all the stuff, all the good stuff. Eventually, I might turn one of these into an actual medium. Maybe grab a Megalomaniac with some decent stuff in it. But that's sort of it. Gear-wise, oh, I don't think I ever went over my wands. Also, I'm gonna make a trade in the middle of this. Don't mind me. I should have put myself in D&D. So sorry. Anyway, these wands. These are +1 level Fracture imbued wands, +1 level of Lightning Spell Skill Gems wands. So sorry, that is, it is tacky of me, but I'm gonna do it anyway. But these are +1 Fracture Lightning Spell Skill Gem wands, imbued wands. And all that I did was just throw a bunch of, which actually aren't expensive. I looked these up before I started recording. These are like 40C now. I think when I originally bought them, they were like 80C, so these have gone down significantly. All that I did was spam Essence of Woe for increased spell damage onto them until they hit something good. So I think the most recent one I had was, it was this one, yeah. Just increased spell damage, global crit multi. The chaos res was just, I was like, cool, I'll take more chaos res. And then I crafted more cast speed, because again, cast speed, good, makes you cast things faster. This one isn't anything crazy. I'll probably be rolling some more Essence of Woe on it once I kind of get some more. But yeah, those are basically the items. There aren't really too many other big improvements you can make. Like this wand, again, this wand could be good, the wand could be good. The hat, I'm sure maybe you could do something with that. These rings, you could, if you really wanted to min-max, you could make these be, Baron? Crusader? Him? Yeah, Crusader. You can make him be Crusader rings and roll the prefix for added spell damage along with the cast speed, and then whatever resistance is. Very min-maxy, but you could do it. Tinker Skin, basically, if you really wanted to min-max this, you could instead double corrupt it. And pray it doesn't go poof. You can double corrupt it. If something cool happens, awesome. If something cool doesn't happen, oh well. It's about 2 div to buy one that is already 6-linked, not crazy expensive. Not terribly cheap either, so that is just a matter of whatever your budget is and what you can afford to be throwing at things. I'm trying to double corrupt the one on the side, because why not? I actually have a good bit of money. I have a good bit of currency this league to try that out. I'm trying to think of like other ways to go. If you did look at this build and you're like, Lightning Trap seems cool, but I don't want to do it as a raider, that's fine. I mean, also, I'll disown you, but that's fine. You can do it as a Sabo, and that's completely fine. Sabo is still very, very strong with this, and still very comfortable. I just want to do it as a raider just because, why not? You know, why not be a little bit unconventional with this? It's already a trap that almost nobody plays. Why not go a little bit deeper, you know? So you could definitely do the same thing, but put a Sabo in place of the Raider. And you will still, I'm sure you'll still have just as good of a time. It'll be just as good. The build overall has performed incredibly well. The next few things I'm going to be doing after I make a couple more improvements is probably just going to be trying to run the Feared. Pray for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. I mean, I could very quickly go run 2 maps. You know, I think for the heck of it, for the heck of the build, for the heck of this video, and it's already gone half an hour, I will indeed run this Baron map really quick, because why not? And I will probably actually just make this white. I know I just said, like, you could just Alka go, but I'm just going to try to do this incredibly quickly. I'm even going to blitz the boss, and I want to kill, I kind of want to kill Sirus. And just see, and just kind of show you how bossing goes in these situations. So let's go defeat us a Baron, and defeat us a Sirus. Yeah, this character has been a ton of fun to play, and it's just all around very, very solid, very cool. Love. Oh, okay, I might die here. Oh, it's a goddess here. Okay, she had to summon the, like, worst bosses she possibly could on my list. It made me want to try to eat my words.
I shall cast you into a pit of infinite torture.
He's gonna cast us into a pit of infinite torture. See, that's the nice part too. Maven literally can't make him take that vitality ban. I love it. I love not having to deal with that. Alright. Even though I'm missing out on all that map stuff, that's fine. Do it again. I'll do it again later. Alright, let's do my favorite boss in the game. Unironically, I actually really love Sirus. I think it's a very cool fight. I will actually 1000% pause my music. Play his music. So this is just kind of a showcase of the bossing potential of this build, or at the very least the boss potential as it is now. You could certainly be stronger than me. You could certainly do whatever else. Another option, if you did want to be pure bossing, you could do pure power charge stacking. Do, you know, Badge of the Brotherhood dual void batteries instead of the ones that I have. And just try to stack as many power charges as you can. That's also perfectly acceptable as a different version. That's a different way to build it. And I feel like if you did that version, I would say you probably just want to do Ice Trap instead. Ice Trap is just a stronger bosser than Lightning Trap is, but Lightning Trap is just so comfortable and has been so much fun to just run that it's a good time. Also, don't mind, I forgot to bring up also how I look, that I'm all shiny. I'm holographic. I'm a holographic raider. That's also just the Sun Prism phasing effect, and since I'm always phasing, then I always have this effect, so I'm just a holographic raider. Also, as you can see, that phase went by really fast. We're gonna just throw some traps on him for a bit, and he falls over.
The others found strength in their projections.
I'll probably still have to focus a little bit on this, just because I'm not 100% comfortable. But overall, though, this character, though, I will say, is a character that... Okay, his walls aren't there. That's cool. It's a character that, while has the capability to become very expensive, like where it is right now, is quite expensive as far as like amount of divines sunk into the character. I've probably sunk maybe 10-ish divines into the character at this point, to be as strong as I am. But obviously, I mean, it didn't start off that much, you know. I think the first thing I did was get a Tinker Skin. So,
Interesting enough.
I'm
Warrant all
actually,
this
I will add.
information.
Now people want to buy Tinker Skin. I don't want to. Oh boy, I am getting some serious visual lag. It's been unfortunate this league, I will say, with the. There's been quite a few visual bugs.
This city is
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, real speed, this is a build where it's just like, I didn't start off with having a ton of stuff. I just started this character for the heck of it, and then just went off.
Edge of death. My heart races.
Alright, let's see if I can actually do a death plus or if I'm gonna get Egypt here. Since he wasn't showing some things, so this might screw him up like this. Oh god. Woo. Another thing that's cool is that with how fast you move, just as a base, it's... At some point. There it is. With how fast you just move as your base move speed, that was really easy. But how fast your base movement speed is, that was a really clean section right there. But with how fast your base move speed is, you really can just dodge a lot of things without even needing to flame dash or do anything. You can just walk out of the way. Oh yeah, this is what I like normally. But yeah, you can just flame dash, or you can just walk away because you just have such high mobility as is. You just normally, so much so that it all goes well. So with that, I think that's the end of the that's the end of the build guide for now. If you have any questions, let me know. I will corrupt this just to see, or just maybe I'll get a little bit of YouTube luck here, but I think it's basically gonna fail on first attempt. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this character seems interesting to you, and I hope that you. I got greedy. I should have left it at 3. That's all right. That's all right. I always want to push max greed and try for at least 4, but that's way too greedy. Either way, those were what, feeble, cast speed, and attack crit. Might have been something, but whatever. Regardless, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed a look at this character. I hope it looks mildly interesting to you. I will have the POV down below, of course. I will be playing this character for a bit longer. If there is some other kind of insane breakthrough I have with this character, or maybe it just pops off in the best possible way, and manages to do like some Ubers. Again, I don't know if it can do Ubers at all. I might try once I get even more geared. I might try. But otherwise, if it pops off and maybe does a feared super well, or does some other things super well, maybe I'll make a follow-up video. But otherwise, this is the character. I hope you enjoy. I hope you're having fun with Trial of the Ancestors. It is such a good league. It's such a fun mechanic. They just put out some balanced patches to the mechanic itself. It feels really good. It's rewarding. It's fun. It's a good league. It's a good time to play PoE. Log in. Have fun. Bye now.